Hello tiny humans, and welcome back to Art at Home with Miss Wilkin. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this very happy rainbow neighborhood. When I'm done showing you guys how to do this, I'm going to hang mine up in my window so that as my neighbors drive by, they can see some happy artwork, but you guys can decide what you want to do with your pictures when you're done. You can also hang them on your wall like Miss Wilkin has behind her, all of my projects that I've done over my time spent at home, but definitely check with your parents before you tape or put anything onto your walls. So what you're going to need to make this is a piece of paper. It can be any piece of paper that you have, lined, colored, plain, whatever you have at your house. I'm going to be using markers and colored pencils, but you use whatever you have on hand. As long as you've got some colors, you'll be able to make all of these rainbow houses. So let's get started. Alright, so like I said, what we're going to need is a piece of paper and then something to add some color with. So I'm going to put my little rainbow house example kind of off to the side here so we can still see it a little bit as we work. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by making our rainbow shape. And we all know that a rainbow shape is like a half circle. If you want to do this with a pencil first, you can, and then you can trace back over it with your markers or your crayons or colored pencils. That is entirely up to you. But I'm going to start my half circle by deciding that I'm going to have it be about this tall, and it's going to start a little bit away from my edges, so I'll be able to draw some houses down here at the bottom. So all I'm going to do is sort of connect those three little marks that I made as best as I can. Perfect. And then what I'm going to do is actually go ahead and draw the shapes for my houses or buildings all the way along before I go in and add my rainbow stripes of color. So the easiest way to draw some houses or buildings is to go with squares or squares with a triangle shape on top. I like to just draw the outlines of my buildings, but I can draw a square and then a triangle if that is easier. So I'm going to draw all different kinds in all different sizes. And I'm going to go all the way around. You can look around in your neighborhood for inspiration, so you can look at some of the houses on your street and see what kind of shapes they are. Awesome. So once I've got all the outlines of my buildings, I can actually go back in and add my little details like I have here. So my doors and windows. What I'm going to do is actually use the very, very tip of my marker here to get some thin lines because they are smaller details and we don't want them to all blend together. Alright, so once I've added all my details to my little houses and buildings, I'm going to go in and add my stripes for my rainbow. What I like to do is when I'm adding my stripes with markers, I like to turn my marker on its side so that I'm using the wider edge, and I'll show you guys what I mean. So, going in rainbow order, what I do is I take my marker and I turn it so that this flat side is all the way touching the paper. And what that does is it makes a nice wide line. And that way I don't have to spend as much time coloring in my stripes. Now, if you're using crayons or colored pencils, you can do the same thing as I'm doing here by just drawing a simple thin line and then coloring in your stripes like we would usually do. So after my red comes orange. So I'm going to do this with all of my colors all the way down to purple, and then I'm going to draw another black line to close in my rainbow. All right, great job. So once I've finished my rainbow, and definitely take your time with your rainbow. You can tell Miss Wilkin took a little bit of extra time with my rainbow up here, so my lines are nice and dark. I'm also going to add a little heart underneath my rainbow, and maybe some lines out like this so it looks like my heart is shining. Now for my heart and my buildings, I'm actually going to use my colored pencils because some of my areas in my buildings, my little details are pretty small, and it's hard for me to get into those little tiny spaces with my markers. So I like to use colored pencils and crayons for small details like that. Now, you do not have to use regular house colors to color in your buildings. I like to do them all different colors because it's supposed to be fun and exciting. Great job. So when you're done coloring, you can also go in and color a background, maybe add some clouds, or just fill it in with a solid color. It's entirely up to you what you want to do with your background. You can also go ahead and cut out around your houses and your rainbow so that it is its own standing up rainbow by itself. Alright, I hope you guys really enjoyed this project. I would love to see what you make and where you decide you want to display it to share a little bit of joy and color in a time that we're not all really used to. Stay safe, have fun, and I'll see you soon. Bye, tiny humans.